Welcome to Bright and Ambitious, the writing podcast for writing, revising, and something your next story. I think it's publishing, isn't it?
Sharing, I think.
Sharing.
All of those things, though, are true.
Welcome to Bright and Ambitious.
I was just going to use that.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Tired Kailey presents her gushing over YALLfest immediately after coming home.
Yes.
From said fest.
Yes. This is literally the first time that I'm seeing you since you got back. And I looked at my wonderful wife and I said, let's record a podcast.
So how about we start with you opening what I got you specifically.
Oh my giddy aunt.
Aww.
It is a green duck umbrella where the handle is the duck head and it has cute little eyes. And then you can just push a little button and wait. I can't do it. I'm not strong enough to push a button.
The wrapping is on it.
You're so smart, and I love you so much.
So it's not going to unravel.
All right, ready? There it goes. I'm learning so much. I
don't think Homeboy's ever had an umbrella before.
So, YALLfest.
YALLfest.
It is for anyone who doesn't know.
Yes, it is a 2-day event in Charleston, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny that it's my first time going, considering I've lived in South Carolina my entire life.
Yes. And you were there with a few of our friends.
Yes, it was a girls' trip. It was me and my friends Hanan, who I've had on the podcast.
Yes.
Carrie and Emma.
Yeah.
The event was Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
I woke up at around 6:30 a.m. I drove to the visitor center parking garage and immediately got to talk to people.
So, hi, this is the Bright and Ambitious Writing Podcast. I'm here with two people who are going to YALLfest. What's y'all's names?
Sally.
Hi, Sally.
And Lori.
Hi, Lori.
I bumped into a mom and her daughter in the parking garage, and they had their YALLfest shirts on, and I was like, it just started.
Okay, who are we excited to see today?
Everybody.
Yeah, honestly.
Everybody. We just like coming for the books and getting the autographs, and it doesn't matter who we see. Sometimes we meet new people and find new books that we never even thought about.
But yeah, I had about an hour before my first event. Like, you really need to give yourself at least an hour to get to where you want to go, because you will be standing in line for about an hour. And you will be surprised how early people will try to make a line. So definitely try to space yourself out hour by hour. If you can get ahead, even better. That's what happened to me today. I ended up literally getting out and having an hour before, and I was like, perfect, next line, let's go. Felt like I was at Disney World.
Yeah, I mean, this basically was Disney World for YA.
Yeah.
So what was your first event?
The first thing I did on Friday was go to see Rebecca Ross at the Mud House coffee shop. She was actually in the alleyway where they have this outdoor seating. She wrote Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. Those are the books I've read of hers. I'm honestly very glad that she was the first author I talked to, because this was my first soiree into talking to a published, successful, very popular author, and also using the recorder. And I got up there.
Hi. Yes. Hello, Rebecca. May I ask you a question or two while you're signing? All right. What is your favorite drink to have while you write?
Ooh, okay. So it's kind of a toss-up between coffee.
Okay,
usually Americano.
Okay.
Occasionally I'll let myself have a latte, with full milk and honey. But then I also really love black tea. Ooh. So my mom just gave me for my birthday this pumpkin spice black tea that's been really, really good. So I kind of bounce back and forth between tea and coffee.
And then she just looks at me, and I look at her, and there's this pause, and I just go, okay, thank you so much. Fully was just like, oh my gosh, I was like, I don't know, like I just like lost my nerve.
Yeah.
But I still got to ask one question. I got my book signed. She looked at me. Like
Right.
I hit all the notes, like truly.
Yeah.
I talked to people in line. I tried to interview as many people as I could, people who were willing. And in the Rebecca Ross line, this is the one of 2 instances where I got to talk to a book talker.
Ooh.
It's Tay's Book Cafe, TAYSBOOKCAFE, on TikTok and Instagram. This is my 2nd year, and honestly, YALLfest is probably one of the best book events. There's a lot out there, but this one so far, I mean, this is only my 2nd year, but the authors talk so highly about it, and it's like the most consistent book event, and it only keeps getting better. The ticket event last year was their first time doing it, and it was a little rough because it was their first time. This year was so smooth. There were no complaints on my end. Like, they just keep getting better each year. So if you have the opportunity to ever go to YALLfest, I would say go. And it's also free.
It is. Yeah.
So
even when it's ticketed, it's free.
yeah, so it's a win-win for authors, readers. It's probably one of my favorite book events. So
Thank you to all the authors who took time to talk to me. Like everyone, like just everyone across the board. It was super nice. YALLfest is for the girlies. Guys are included when I say girlies.
Yes.
It's literally like everyone was so nice.
After that, where'd you go?
So Friday was interesting because I had the Rebecca Ross on King Street, and then I had Fierce Friday. It's the first time they've ever done it, where it's a multi-author event in the John L. Dart Library. And the library was a 45-minute walk away. It was like probably one of the only events that was away from the Blue Bicycle bookstore, which hosts YALLfest,
Yeah.
on King Street.
Right.
It was 2 hours long. It was about 250 people.
We are in line for Fierce Friday, which is Marissa Meyer and Isabella Banez for me.
And is Isabella the one who did the river knows?
Yes, I love her so much.
I'm trying to figure out how my reaction will be to Marissa Meyer, because I want to be super chill, but she's also my favorite author. And there is a possibility that I'll cry, and I don't want... I realized this, and I went, uh-oh.
I know, I like Alex Harrow is my favorite author who's like not dead. So it was like, Carrie said I was really chill, which I'm like, that's good, because on the inside I was not chill.
Yeah, on the inside you were tearing yourself apart.
Yeah.
But I live in North Carolina, so I work for the New Hanover County Library System.
Nice. Who is your favorite author at this event? Is it Marissa Meyer?
I would say Victoria Aveyard is my favorite, but I'm not seeing her today because all of her books are signed. But Tiffany D. Jackson is next on my list. I'm very excited.
Okay. I did not get your name.
Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. Okay. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too.
Oh, I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Yes. I'm so excited to meet Marissa Meyer.
Yes. Okay. What is your favorite book by her?
That is such a difficult question. I would have to say Heartless. I feel like it's one of her underrated books, and it's so good.
Yes. I'm speaking with
Olivia.
Okay, so is Marissa Meyer the person you're most excited to see this weekend?
100%.
Absolutely. And what is your favorite book of hers?
The Lunar Chronicles. Not one particular book, but the whole series is my favorite.
That is so understandable.
Is the first one of hers that I ever read. My mom read them first and then introduced me to them when I was in like early high school, I think. We started reading some of the same books because she's always been into YA. And so that was one of the ones that she introduced me to. I loved them.
Oh my gosh, I am nonstop action. I am literally 3 people away from Marissa Meyer. And that is crazy.
And I got to meet her. Oh my gosh, like she's a real person. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy good.
Yeah. Because she's written like 3 of your 5 favorite books.
She's written a lot of books that I have read and I'm obsessed with.
Yes.
I don't even remember who recommended me the Lunar Chronicles. Just random stranger going, have you ever heard of the Lunar Chronicles? I'm like, no. And I just add it to my TBR and oh my gosh, I crashed.
Yes.
I actually listened to Winter on the way there and on the way back just to hype myself up. I bought her new book, The House Sapphire. It's the only hardcover I have of hers, except I guess the Heartless Special Edition. And then Instant Karma, I think, was the other one that I bought.
Yeah.
So I had a lot in my cart, and something that was really nice, and this is different for all the authors, they tell you, when, especially with the ticketed ones, they tell you in advance what they are willing to sign, like how many books and how many personalizations, and it's all different depending on the author. For Marissa Meyer, she was straight up like, I will sign anything you give me. And I think it's because she just has such a long like large backlist.
Yeah.
And the traditional rule is to only bring 3, and like Homegirl has a quartet.
Yeah.
You know, she has a chronicle.
Right, exactly.
But I got to ask her 2 questions.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Joel. In the I made sure to listen to the recording to make sure that it happened. Yeah. That was the only one I rechecked in full.
Good to see you. I do have a lot, unfortunately. Is that okay?
I'm ready for it.
Okay. So we got
Can I help you unpack these?
Yes, absolutely. And I do have a couple of questions, if you're willing to answer. The first one is, if you had a superpower in the Renegades universe, what would it be?
I always wanted Nova's power to not have to sleep. Seems really great.
You can write so many more books.
Exactly. I am that type A overachiever, and I like and appreciate sleep and recognize its necessity. But if I didn't need it, I just think that would be great.
That's fair. I mean, I think you're still a powerhouse. Like, you wrote, what, 4 or 6 books this last year?
I've got 3 coming out this year. Yeah, it's been a lot.
That's great.
And then the second question, it was funny because, like, you know, I had this prepared, but then I literally, like, you can hear me just go, oh, I had more questions, but now I'm nervous. I'm right in front of you.
I love it.
And so I was like fluming, but then I was like, oh, I have it. And Joel.
Yeah.
Joel.
Yeah.
If this happens, like, die happy, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got to ask Marissa Meyer. I was like,
since Lunar Chronicles is getting a movie adaptation, have you thought about Rebecca Soler voicing anyone since she does your audiobooks?
Idea. I have a phone call with the studio this upcoming week, so maybe I'll float that idea by them.
Yeah, absolutely. I would vote for Scarlett or Cress.
Okay.
That would be mine.
I love Rebecca. She's so great.
She's so good. But thank you so much for talking with me.
Of course.
I was like, oh my goodness. Rebecca Soler, I want you to get your flowers so bad.
If she plays Aiko.
Bro, I didn't even think about Aiko. I said Cress or Scarlet. I didn't even think about Aiko.
For me, it's Aiko all the way.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever, if she gets in the movie adaptation of Cinder, I'm ecstatic regardless.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So, just, you know, casually having like one of the coolest moments of your life.
Yeah, just like, you know, casually inserting myself into this movie that's going to come out in 2028.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop. But yeah, like, it was amazing to get to see her. And yeah, I got all of the books signed. I have no idea which one she personalized, because I was like, just like,
yeah.
I'm happy I got those 2 questions in.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
After like seeing author after author every single time, I felt like a child again.
Aww.
Where I was literally just like, because, like, for example, Marissa Meyer, I saw her today for the escape thing.
You saw her again and be like, twice. Guess what? I'm back.
Yeah. I got
Are you ready for
twice.
your 3rd question?
I didn't have the recorder with me because this was like, I don't know. I didn't think about it.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But what I was going to say is, like, she complimented my butterfly clips because I wore them on Saturday. And she was just like, oh, I love your clips. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, my favorite color is pink. And she was just like, I love pink too. And then literally, like, I like was going, you know, down the stairs leaving. And I was like, she liked my butterfly clips. You know, like it's just like it makes you feel giddy and childlike.
There's an element of whimsy that you don't really get a lot as an adult.
Yeah. But it's like a compliment from someone that you really, really admire, and they don't know you, and then you have this moment with them where they connect with you with something, and it just makes it personalized, and you cling to it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So right as we were about to leave the library, I literally look over and I see Claribel Ortega. She followed our podcast.
Oh.
Is it okay if I ask you a few questions for my podcast? Sure. What's your podcast? It's the Bright and Ambitious Writing Podcast.
I love that.
Thank you.
And then she followed it in front of me. I was like, oh my gosh, you're the most famous person to know about this. She is a best-selling middle grade author. I know her for the Witchling series. She's also done a graphic novel called Frizzy. And I think also Ghost Squad was her debut. Do not quote me on that. I discovered her on Instagram, and I remember there was 1 or 2 posts about how some fans, because they are tweens, and discovering things about themselves, would email her about fan fictions that they have made, shipping the 3 main characters. And there's been other ones as well, and I found that out because I asked her about it.
There are a lot of strange ships in the Witchlings universe. There's 7 is a wrap for 1 chapter in book 3, and people have started shipping her with Cheese, the raccoon. The ship name is Chevin. That's also a favorite, but I haven't read the Thruple ones. I know they exist. There's been a kind of a little bit of a mini explosion of fanfic for Witchlings on AO3, which is really funny and great, but I haven't read it. I'm like, this is for you guys.
So like, are people sent them to you or just mentioned it?
They mention them. I get emails and letters from my readers all the time, so they tell me about it, or they will ask me, like, hey, if I don't like how this book ends, am I allowed to write my own ending? And I'm like, yeah, it's called fan fiction and you can do it. Or sometimes they will send me, like, one of my favorite letters I've ever gotten in the mail was, it's a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't read book 2 and 3, but one of the characters is turned into stone, and my reader said, well, could you have this other character cry tears of love onto the statue and then they can kiss? I'm like, it's always a kiss with you guys. But yeah, they're great. I just love my readers. They're very funny.
Hanan was telling it, because Hanan was with me. She was telling me later that she kind of regretted not jumping more into the convo because, like, to her, fanfic is really what helped her get interested in writing. And the same goes for me. And so, like, the way that, I don't know, like, I just think it was so cool that I got to, like, talk to someone who, like, at least publicly, I knew that their work was influencing young writers and young readers. And yeah, so she was such a delight. Yeah, so I'm so glad that I got to bump into her of all things.
So, Saturday.
Yes. So, Friday was very tame. I had the one signing, Rebecca Ross, and then Fierce Friday with Marissa Meyer.
Yeah.
Saturday is the day, y'all. 9 a.m., there was a whole quad at the Charleston Museum where you could just get ARCs if you were like the first X amount of people in line. Yes, it was an entire quad of every imprint that you could think of.
Really?
I say, okay, of all the big imprints.
Yeah.
It was Penguin, Simon, Hyperion. It was epic. It was like
Was it? I'm assuming you had to like buy the arcs.
No.
They were just giving arcs for free from
It was an entire quad of just giveaways, and you stand in line to get an arc, and if you're like the first for 50 or so people, you get it.
That's crazy.
Yes, girl, you ready to see the things I got?
Yes, please.
Oh my gosh. Apparently, some people had been starting the line since 4 a.m., which I think is a little ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can see if like you're a big fan of like a author being like, all right, this is going to make the coolest piece of collector's item I possibly could have.
Yes. I didn't go with the intent to get arcs myself. I went to go get the Marissa Meyer escape room ticket.
Right.
And I was successful. Me and Emma got a ticket. And escape room ended up being a loose term because, again, it was just really a way to feature Marissa Meyer's newest book that's coming out in 2026 called The Escape Game. So we actually got an arc of that by going to the escape event.
That's awesome. So you're going to be one of the first people to read this new Marissa Meyer book.
Yes. Let me see if I can find it for you.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Isn't it? I know, I got her newest book, The House Sapphire.
So the thing that I just said where it's like, oh, if you're a big fan of an author, it would make an amazing collector's item. You have that.
I do, and it's signed with my name on it.
That's crazy. Yeah. Advanced reader copy, not for sale.
Yeah. And
that's crazy. This competition is to die for.
Yeah. And this is kind of getting ahead because this wasn't at the first thing we did. This was at like 1 p.m.
Yeah.
But I got the ticket at the campus quad at the Charleston Museum. And the way Marissa Meyer described it is that this is a reality TV show escape room. And 6 months ago, someone had died in the escape game. And it was a cold case. And now the main character, I'm assuming, like one of the characters, is roping in her team to try and solve the murder while on this reality TV show. But the murderer is still at large.
Interesting. So this is a very, very different genre for her.
Yes. I am very curious to see it. I doubt it's a retelling.
Oh, it's co-author.
It is.
Did you meet the other author, Tamara Moss?
No, Tamara Moss lives in Australia. And so she is in Australia right now.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because Marissa Meyer essentially said that while they were writing it, she would write something, go to sleep, and then the next day there'd be a new chapter.
That's awesome.
It was, yeah. So Homegirl doesn't sleep. All right. So who am I talking with today?
My name is Mikayla Harris, and I am Mikayla's Meadow on TikTok.
Well, I asked Marissa Meyer this, and I'm going to ask you now. If you had a superpower in the Renegades universe, what would it be?
That's a really good question. Personally, I've always wanted to be able to fly. I know that's so basic because it's such a common superpower, but I feel like that would be so fun to be able to fly.
That's like, totally reasonable.
It's not very unique, but you know, it'd be cool. Maybe I could like transform into some kind of like flying, animal.
Like a druid?
Yeah,
I love that.
That would be fun.
But yes, I got this. I got the ticket to go and meet Marissa Meyer for a second time.
Yeah.
And then I got a bunch of just random goodies. Let's see. I got a foam sword from Epic Reads. This is Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I have not read this book series yet, but I am intrigued because it does have a villain romance.
Which is fun.
And on the back it says, save the world or end it.
Ooh.
And I don't know why. I thought it was funny because I was like, I could put this in my office.
You could, and I think you should.
Yeah. They had 6 of Crows merch because of the 10-year anniversary.
Oh.
So I got a pencil case with Grishivers.
Oh, yeah.
And then I don't know if it's in here.
That looks so cool.
But there is, I did get a tote bag with the famous quote from Kaz Brecker to Inej, where he's like, if I couldn't walk to you, I would crawl. And that's in the second book, which you'll read.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got that as well. And then let's see, I got a bunch of like pins and stickers, which I think are in this other bag. So
Yippee.
Also on the quad in the Charleston Museum, I was in line for 75 to do flower crowns with a debut author named Sasha Sloan.
Ooh.
And I am not even gonna lie, I failed miserably at making the flower crown.
No.
But I'm so excited for you to include the snippet of her in this podcast episode because she just kind of like shared how she got published.
Cool.
And like her journey and what this book meant to her. And I just had the recorder like on the table as I was trying to figure out flower crowns.
But I started going to these conferences and I started getting the advice that, like, you know, if you want to be a writer, it's kind of like trying to win the lottery. And I would look around the rooms and see people that were smarter and older and more experienced and had degrees, and it kind of started to wear me down after a while. And I knew that I wanted to have financial independence. That was something that was really important to me. And so I thought, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to make this my life. And so I went to try to go study something that was more serious. I studied political science in college and sort of just put my writing dreams on the shelf. And then in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was really at a low, guys. I was as low as you can go. And I started making videos on TikTok. And then the next thing I knew, I started to grow an audience for the most embarrassing, goofiest stuff. And so once I started to kind of let that passion shine, I started to like connect with a lot more people, and I realized there are so many girlies out there, and guys too, that love fantasy as much as I do, and there's a whole community of people. And so that sort of started this transition in my life, and then it kind of snowballed, and by 2021 I was full-time making content on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. And so I started writing full-time about 3 years ago, and just feeling like, oh my gosh, this is never gonna work out. And also, this is so embarrassing. And I started to have my family and friends be like, hey, Sasha, it's been a year, where's the book? You know, it's been 2 years, where's the book? And it's not that I wasn't working, and I felt like it maybe seemed like I wasn't working hard. I was on my desk, like banging my head against the wall, you know, and I was getting better at my craft. I was reading as much as I could, I was absorbing as many materials as I could, but I just felt like maybe it wasn't gonna happen. And then I woke up about a year ago to an email that said Disney writing opportunity. And I saw that and I was like, what? The first place that my head went was, I was like, oh, someone's doing a camp and they probably want me to come to their summer camp and present about Disney and writing. That's where my head went. And I opened it up, and instead the email said, like, we were wondering, would you be interested in working with us on a book? And then I'm like, oh, this is a really mean prank. Like, really, really mean prank. And so then I start to look up like their names, and I look up their LinkedIn, and I'm like, wait, no, this is a real person. And I'm like, it still could be a prank. So then I get onto the first call, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is not a prank. And then as we've gotten through the process more and more, I'm like, okay, now I am pretty darn sure I'm not being pranked, and like this is real. So what came out of that, we've been working so hard for the last year, is my debut novel called The Ruins Beneath Us. And I really hope that as you read this book, you'll think about the things that make you different and make you powerful. And learning that embracing those things, like that is the way to have what you want in life. That's the way to reach your dreams and your goals. And I feel like I've been on this crazy journey for the last 5 years, and the message that has kind of like continued to resonate with me is that like you should embrace those things that make you different and powerful.
That's awesome.
And so she was so personable. She very much gives Taylor Swift vibe. She mentioned that like she wanted to be an author at 12, and her mom, who was an entrepreneur, was like, let's query. And that's very Taylor Swift's mom coded.
Yeah.
Not being able to make the flower crown was so worth getting this art. For The Ruins Beneath Us by Sasha Sloan. It is a fairy story. Well, it's more of an elf story, but in my mind, they're very similar. But it's literally about a girl named Lyra who is an elf, and she has healing magic, and it's like in her blood. And that's very important, that this is like a part of her, something that you can't take away. And she ends up somehow, like, you know, inciting incident ensues, and she becomes the palace's apothecary. And the humans, I think there's like some sort of strife with the humans and elves, and so she really has to hide the fact that she is healing these people through herself rather than through practical means that we're used to. And you know, so I'm excited for this. Like, it's cool. Like, you know, I would not have known about this otherwise, since this is a debut author.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Yeah. It was funny. There was 5 copies at the table that we were at, and there was only 4 of us, so I ended up taking the extra copy. And I was going to be like, oh, maybe Carrie or Hernan would like this.
Yeah.
And then I'm in line, and then this little girl who is more in the demographic, she comes up, and she's just like, where did you get that? And I was like, oh, this was at a Flower Crown event. And she was like, oh, and I was like, I have to, like, take this one.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh, really? I was like, yeah. And then she like was about to run away, and I'm like, don't run away. She's about to come here to sign it.
That's so cute.
And so she got in line to get it signed.
I love that.
Also, while I was in line, that's where I met the book talker and his wife. Like, we saw them at the hotel, and then we were like went our separate ways, and then literally I went into line, and I was like right behind them, and I'm like, oh, hello again. And so we had an interview.
So I am Andrew. I am part of the SBU English Club. So me and my buddy, we used to be critique partners in real life college.
Okay.
And now we pretend to be in critique group with like authors who are either trending or controversial. Ooh. And unlike other booktubers where it's more focused on like rant reviews and takedowns, we treat them a little bit more diplomatically, I'll say, you know, like treat them like they actually came into a creative writing critique group.
He is really into Alex Aster. And so I asked him, like, do you have tickets? And he said, no. And I was like, well, I have a ticket for Alex Aster, and I have no interest in seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I literally bought it for my friends, and they don't need it because they ended up getting a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And so I forwarded him
I love
the
that.
ticket. He was so happy to meet Alex Aster. And I was just like, I was so happy I got to do that for him. So shout out to Andrew. It's just that sort of vibe kept happening. Like, someone gave Hanan the Rebecca Ross ticket. Like, yeah. And then we went to Lit Alley, which was right next to the Blue Bicycle bookstore on King Street. And we got in line for Victoria Aveyard. Again, an hour early. Got there at 11, and I was not the first one. But I was pretty close.
I am in line to see Victoria Aveyard, and I am literally shaking because, oh my gosh. Who are you most excited for to see this weekend?
I'm most excited for Victoria Aveyard.
Ooh, okay, that's what we're in line for.
Yes. So I came here, got in line 40 minutes early.
Yep.
And I think I'm most looking forward to seeing her because of her upcoming book, Tempest, that she has coming out hopefully in 2026. So.
Yeah, I didn't officially get your name, so who am I talking with?
I'm Sammy.
Hi, Sammy. I'm Kailey.
Nice to meet you. And this is Jenna.
Hi.
You're joining my interview now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so who are you here to see today?
Alex Aster, Marie Lou, Victoria Aveyard, and really just the community of people.
Everyone is being so nice. Let's see if I actually get to ask her my questions.
I got to meet Victoria Aveyard, and she did tell me the answer to my question.
Okay, so the first one is, you contribute Poison and Wine by the Civil Wars for Mare and Cal. Do you have any song for Mare and Maven?
Ooh, I mean, there's plenty. They're all in my Spotify list. I'd have to, like, look.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Spotify
I do. I have a very public Spotify playlist. I have playlists for all my books.
Oh, okay.
I have playlists for my next book. So there's all my Red Queen playlists from like every Red Queen book that I listened to while I was writing is all there. But I remember for the Red Queen series, I know what it is. What Kind of Man? Florence and the Machine. That's what I used to, that was what I would listen to.
I love Florence and the Machine. Yeah. Okay.
And ooh, good pick.
Very
Literally the chorus is what kind of man loves like this. Yeah, when she said that, I was like, yes. My original second question I was going to ask her was really professional.
Yeah.
It was literally going to be about like what's the biggest, thing that you've seen in change in YALLfest.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you can tell, it was difficult for me to actually ask that in a way that would flow well. And so literally after the first question with the song, I just go, do you realize how influential you are?
Do you realize the impact you've had on the YA sphere?
No.
Oh my gosh, you've had such a huge impact, like me included. So I just wanted to say I
appreciate it.
Yes.
It's cool to be part of the links in the chain going forward in the stories that we get to tell.
Yeah. Well, it was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for coming.
And anyone I talked to about Victoria Aveyard, they mentioned how nice she was. And I agree. She is super nice.
Yeah.
So shout out to Victoria Aveyard. Everyone knows how nice you are. So yeah, the Lit Alley was great. It was lit. And then, I can talk about it very briefly because it was a very fleeting moment. But I did see Chloe Gong. She was walking out of the theater while I was asking the attendant for restaurant recommendations. And literally she like walked past me and I literally just was like gaping like an idiot. Cause she's so pretty and poised. And again, this is someone that you see on your phone.
Right.
And you see in your book. And then she just walks like a normal person across from you. Doesn't even look at you because she's a normal person trying to go about her day. And you're just like, wow.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. It's like, it's the same feeling of like seeing a deer. You know what I mean? Or it's just like, wow, so graceful, so elegant. I'll never see that again.
Yeah.
Don't run over Chloe Gong, please.
No.
And then I went to a restaurant because I had not eaten since breakfast.
Yeah.
But I went to a place that was recommended to me called Pink Bellies. It was a Vietnamese restaurant.
Ooh.
Yes, it was really good. It was really good. It was kind of nice because I was literally the only person in there. And it felt so nice to like get out of the hustle and bustle for a moment and just drink water. I had a full calorie Coca-Cola.
You madman.
I know. And then Emma and Carrie met up with me there.
So Emma, tell me about the panel you went to.
I went to a panel about maps. It's called Maps Are Stories and Stories Are Maps, and it was kind of about world building, but it ended up being a bit more about the editing process that all the authors had. It kind of derailed a little bit.
Yeah.
It was very interesting because two people, it was kind of split down the middle, 2 and 2. 2 had very similar, and the other 2 had very similar, and the others could not believe, like, how do you write that way? And it was really funny.
Aww.
But there was one of the authors does graphic novels, so it was really interesting to hear her perspective on maps because she's actually drawing them herself.
Oh, wow.
And I don't think it ever really clicked to me that the authors weren't like actually drawing their own maps. Like, I don't know why, I always kind of imagined in my head.
No, that's fair.
That was kind of rounding out the day.
Yeah.
And the last thing I did was go to the big tent because at the very end of YALLfest, they have signed copies of all the authors' books.
Yeah.
And it's just like a way to be like, oh, if you missed out this author,
Yeah.
buy this. Or like, oh, like what if you, like there was some authors, like when I mentioned earlier, that had some, stipulations. Like Rebecca Ross would only sign 3 of your books.
Right.
And personalize 1.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, I really wish I had this one. You could get it at the tent.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I went to get an Ava Reed A Study in Drowning.
Yeah.
And then I also got Fable at the End of the World, which I have not read yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is a sapphic romance. It is Hunger Games coded.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I'm already here. So I got both of those signed. And that rounded out my day. Yeah, no, I got to talk to a lot of people, a lot of great readers and writers. I'm excited to go again.
Yeah.
We should absolutely go next year.
Yeah. And next time I want to go with you.
Yeah, I would love that.